Would you like to see exactly how we put one of our waxbill aviaries together for successfully breeding them? If you do, that's great, because we're going to reveal all from the floor to the ceiling using the flight behind me as a demonstration right after this. Right guys, let's start with the outside. So what we've got is white aluminium profiles which we custom built ourselves. We got the aluminium profiles from Pascal Hemel in Holland. A fantastic shop with a range of different coloured profiles that you can use for building your own custom flights. We went or opted for the black mesh instead of the silver. I think the black and the white creates a great contrast, and with the backdrops, which you can see there, the wall murals that we had printed ourselves, against the black and the white and the green background, which is more of a natural look. And then you've got the bright colours of the birds as they sit on the perches, you know, the reds, the yellows, the greens. It all really makes things stand out really nice. So really pleased with how these flights turned out. This one is actually the second biggest one we've got. It's flight number 1. It's empty at the moment, which is a great opportunity for us to have a closer look at it. Now this is the door. This is the lock for the door. We have another lock right here for a hatch, should we need to get in at all to access the tray or put our hands in the flight. Below the hatch we have a pull-out tray which slides across. If you can see there, the aluminium profiles we built, and the stoppers at the back prevent the tray from falling out. It sits in there quite snugly. Now the trays, what we're using them for is the water, which is changed daily, and also the egg food and the live food dishes we put in there and we take out, sometimes changing 2 or 3 times a day depending on if the birds have chicks. So let's go inside and take another closer look. So we're now inside flight 1. Now the width of the flight from wall to wall is about 2.5 foot. I believe that's about 75 centimeters. From length, from just behind where the camera is now, which we're going to give you a look at shortly, all the way down to the end there where you see those white perches up at the top, and the whiteboard just behind it, the partition, is about 11.5 feet. I'm not sure exactly what that is in meters. Maybe it's about 3.5. If I'm off there, please feel free to correct me in the comment section. And from floor to ceiling, we're about 7 foot at the highest point, and it goes down to, at the back there, just over 6 foot, because we are on a sloping roof. So in a second, I'm going to take the camera off the stand and I'm going to have a little look around the flight in here and show you different things we've got going on. So let's have a look. Okay, here we go, taking the camera off now. So let's start with the floor. We've got a mix of wood chips here. So I like to use the Versalaga wood chips and also the Easy Chick wood chips. I had a little bit left of each bag for this flight, hence why they're mixed. I don't often do that. So this is looking up the other end of the flight. Now what you can see up here is the plastic perches we're using. I've got them in a ladder formation. It's the same down the other end, which we'll show you shortly. I do like them in a ladder formation because it helps when, say, you breed the waxbills in here and you've got a clutch or 2 clutches in, or maybe you've got 2 species breeding in here. It just opens up the space a bit more when the perches are in the ladder formation as opposed to being all the same height. Now let's get a close-up of that. There we go, so you can see they're grooved. They're very easy to slot in and out of place, which is great for convenience. I'm just going to put one back up now so you can see they're just sitting on a cup that we screw to the wall and they clip in. There we go, perfect. And there's one a little bit lower we got down closer to where the window is, just so the birds can sit there, because we are south facing. They can get some sun when the sun's out that part of the day, if it's not cloudy, and they do like to sit there and sun or bask in the sun. Again, that perch does come off quite easy. The windows at the back there, we've reversed the jig on so we can actually open the windows from the outside, which I thought was a really clever idea. I'm pleased about that. For the lighting, we're using the Arcadia, this big one here, Arcadia Pro T5 lamp. It's a UVB lamp. The plug sockets for it are just inside these hatches here, and we are running the wires through what's called a brush plate. I do try and hide the wires, if you can see, using trunking. It does make the place look really neat and stops any wires dangling down and prevents any birds getting caught up in them. Now, we're also running another light. You can see this light here next to the Pro T5. This is avian lighting. We got from the avian lighting company. And the reason why we're running that one is purely for the sunrise and sunset effect. Now, that is something that these Pro T5s do now do in the Luminize range, which we will be upgrading to in the near future. Now, the trunking does go all the way down to a second Pro T5 light, which lights up the back wall, the back end perches for the birds. So again, they've got access to those UVB rays, and they can synthesize the vitamin D that they need from that's emitted off these lamps. And again, similar situation at the back there with the perching being ladder perching. They just clip on and clip off really easily. So if one's looking a bit dirty, you can take it off and give it a good old wash. Or even if you've got spare ones, you can just swap it for a spare one while you clean the other one and store it. So the plastic's really handy because it does actually wipe down really, really well. Now, you might have noticed this artificial tree that we've got in the middle of the aviary. It runs from the floor, it's potted, it's weighted in the pot, and it runs about just over 5 feet tall. I do like these because they stay green until they obviously get covered in bird droppings. They do stay green. They pressure wash really easy, so you can reuse them again. And what I like to do is just get a closer look down here. Can you see there's a stick running from the tree to the wood chips on the floor? I do like to generally put a few of these in place, because what happens is when the chicks come out the nest, sometimes they're not very good at finding the perch. It can take them 2 or 3 days, unless they're lavender finches, of course, which just seem to come out the nest knowing exactly how to land on perches. What they do is they come out the nest, they end up on the floor, and they climb up these perches. They get themselves into the tree here, and I think they do kind of get that better sense of security once they're in here, and the parents aren't so frantic worrying about the chicks being on the floor and fear of any predators. So these are great, these artificial trees. I do like them, and I do try and keep at least one in each flight. Another great benefit of using these artificial trees, I mean, you could use other trees as well, real ones even, but of course, because we don't have access to sunlight here, they wouldn't stay green or live for very long. It's the shade that it offers the birds. If you can see, there's plenty of places in here that they can get to if they've decided they had enough of the UV rays. Now, let's talk about these. So these are the nesting sites I create, the artificial nesting sites. Effectively, what this is a wine rack with a Christmas garland wrapped around it. And what I do is, I'm going to show you with my hand now, you can see, just making pockets in between the racks like this. You can see. Now, they all love to nest in here, from goldbreasts to strawberry finches to my black cheeks, my black crowns, lavender finches. Everything loves nesting in these nesting sites. I don't use nest boxes or anything like that. The only thing I do sometimes is, let's go back to the tree and have a look. I can put these nesting baskets in, and occasionally I have seen them. I've seen a pair of black crowns in the past. I think the strawberry finches too, using those, but they do generally prefer to use these wine racks with these Christmas garlands wrapped around them. You can get these wine racks off of eBay or Amazon. They might cost you anything from £7 to £9. And the Christmas garlands, I would advise you to stock up on them right after Christmas. They all go on sale. You can probably get them for a few pounds each. They vary in quality. These ones are pretty good. They're quite stiff. So what you can do is you can You can bend down the branches to get different shapes and angles, and it allows you to make these sorts of pockets for the nesting sites. And this is what the feeding tray, or the water tray rather, or live food tray looks like from the inside of the flight. It's quite sturdy. These are the absorbent paper sheets that I had made, custom made, especially to size to fit the trays. I do find that when the birds like to bath, I am replacing them quite often, maybe every couple of days. And you need to do that because they do flick the egg food and the live food out too, and you don't want to encourage protozoa growth or bacteria growth. So it's good practice to change them regularly. So I think we've covered everything now in the flight. So should we just do one quick panoramic view so you can have a good look at the flight? And there we have it, guys. That's how we set up one of our waxbill aviaries for breeding our waxbills. If you've seen anything in the flight that you've got questions on, or anything you want to know, then please do feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we'll do our best to get back to you. Now, if you've enjoyed this video and you've enjoyed the tour, please also don't forget to hit us with a like. And also, what will really help this channel grow is if you hit that subscribe button. That's your way of telling us that you enjoy the content we're bringing you, and we will endeavour to bring you more. It's completely free to do, and another great benefit of being a subscriber is you get notified every time a new video is released. So until the next video, we'll see you then.